Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Weird Frequencies. Uh, Broadcasting live from 4 individual bunkers underneath a cornfield somewhere in South Central Illinois. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Weird Frequencies. My name is Rob. With me tonight, of course, is Tyler, the American T-Rex.
Hello.
Adam and Julie. And Bubba, the Monkey Rusher. So, if you just tune into the show, and if you never watched before, we just try to find out what's going on in the world. And, we look at the weird things happening on this planet, and we watch videos, and we talk about it, and we chat it up in the chat room, and we ask you guys for your responses, and we post your responses on the screen, and all that fun, stupid stuff.
That's the way to put it.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
It'll be great.
Yeah. So, how's everybody? How are you guys?
I'm doing okay. I finally got a new cell phone after 2018. Someone new cell phone.
Working on this
That's
phone
about as-
all
that's
day long.
How old your new phone is?
Shut up.
Skeletor. And of course, our 5th or 6th member of the show, Skeletor.
Yeah.
Popping in. What's up, Skilly?
Yeah.
So, how are you, Bubba?
I'm good.
How about those Cubs?
Shut the fuck up, Rob.
I'm sorry. Look at the hat I'm wearing, but it's upside down. If you notice.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if that's like a diss or what, but not really. I think it's cool. It just broke.
That's funny.
What? It's upside down? You didn't notice, did you?
Yeah.
You did.
I didn't even pay attention.
Yeah, look at Tyler's hat. Look at mine.
Yep.
It might have just been a fuck up at the factory or something. That they just. I mean, you thought they'd have saw it and said no.
Mine's the satanic version. Just kidding. So okay. Well, we got a big announcement, and but you got to wait till the end of the show to see to hear and see what the announcement's going to be. But we have a pretty large announcement, but it's going to be at the end of the show. Okay.
Yep.
So a couple of just quick things in the news, and then so tonight I want to. Okay, well, I guess I got to wait to tell you what tonight's show is about, and then we'll make the announcement kind of in the middle of the show. Okay, so you just got to wait for a little bit.
At some point in time during the show.
Yeah. Let me get to the couple of these regular stories here real quick. All right. Let's see. What happened?
What do you mean?
There we go. So the Da Vinci Code has been solved.
Okay.
You seen these movies, right?
Right.
So, a London-based dentist claims to have worked out the secret of how Da Vinci perfectly placed the human figure inside the circle with a square.
What's up, Pam? What's up, Casey?
So, he discovered this ratio and blah, 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 without going into a bunch of stuff. Basically, just claims that he's solved the Da Vinci Code. It's pretty wild. Those are pretty cool movies.
I thought the book was better than the movie.
Yeah.
Look,
I was
usually
like,
it is
Notebook.
better than the movie.
Yeah.
No book is ever better than the movie, in my opinion.
That's some interesting reading from the Daily Mail. I'm going to post that in the chat room for everybody if you want to check that out.
I thought the first movie was good, but it was nowhere near as good as the book. And the only good thing about the Da Vinci series and the books was just the first book. That was about it. After that, you kind of get like kind of out there. It's like, I don't get it, but okay, you know.
The guy with the sticking the weird chains on his back and stuff.
Yeah, that.
All the like sadomasochist stuff that dude was
Hey,
doing.
Vince.
What's up, Vince?
What's up, Vinny? At that point with that book, it's like we go from the possibility of maybe there is a conspiracy in the Catholic Church to where the fuck did we go from here? And it lost me after like the second book.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
yeah, they did get a little wonky, didn't they?
Yeah.
It wasn't like, you know, what was it? It wasn't like the Jason Bourne series where it was like good up till the end. But it
was like a more advanced version of National Treasure.
It was a fucking weird out there version of National Treasure, I thought, but
Yep. Let's see. I thought this was kind of interesting from physics.org. Scientists are using lightning to make ammonia out of thin air.
I saw this. I saw that this is not good. It's not good. You're going to have 700 people trying to cook meth, now trying to catch lightning.
Researchers have harnessed human-made lightning to develop a more efficient method of generating ammonia, one of the world's most important chemicals. Ammonia, is the main ingredient, of course, in fertilizer. That accounts for almost half of all global food production.
So great. We're going to start using Tesla coils to make fertilizer.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
The current method comes at a huge climate cost, creates a huge carbon footprint. This process, the chemical process that fed the world and the Sydney team that revolutionized it. So it's literally that. It's a huge.
So they're literally converting bolts of lightning into ammonia. Is that how this is working?
Oh, we got a video. Okay. Here we
go.
Enlarge
this bitch. Let's go. That looks trippy.
Okay. So that's what it looks like, apparently. Interesting. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty wild. Wild, man. Wild news. Physics, PHYS, phys.org is where that's from. If you want to know more about that, I'll put a link up in the chat room also to that. I thought that was pretty wild. Oh, Casey said, go Cubs. That's rough.
Y'all Cubs fans are going to get banned from this show.
I knew I liked Casey.
They don't need a lot of luck, really. I mean, they're encouraged.
That's okay. September's coming.
Our poor birds. They're killing our birdies.
September is coming. It's good. You know the whole thing.
What's September?
Completely useless by September.
Skeletor's not into meth. But look at your face, buddy. I mean, you're not looking very healthy. You kind of teeth are kind of raggedy, and
are you talking about me or Skeletor?
No, Skeletor.
Okay, I was gonna say
your camera's off.
Why do you feel so convicted, Tyler? I mean, come on,
Skeletor, your eyes are all sunken in and dark. You know, people are going to talk.
Dark.
Oh, dark.
I'm choking my broccoli here when Rob said bad teeth. I'm like, what?
Welcome, Vincent. Casey's husband is rooting for the Phillies.
I'm sorry, Casey.
Go Phillies. There you go. Okay, so there was not a whole heck of a lot real exciting news. So I'm just gonna get to
It's been a slow week, really.
A little bit. Oh, let's talk about this before the announcement. Ozzy Osbourne ended his career yesterday in Black Sabbath, and you know, it was Birmingham, England. I couldn't be there. I tried to go, couldn't make it. It was the last Black Sabbath concert. They drug Ozzy out there in this black wheelchair throne thing, and he cranked out 10 songs, and he sounded good. He sounded as good as a man who's 70. How old is he? 60, 70? 77. As good as a man with 77 with Parkinson could possibly sound. I mean, he pulled it off. Just that he had the strength to pull it all off, being as sick as I guess he is, and he's got back problems really bad. I guess that's his main issue, is really bad back pain.
Yeah.
But
I saw the play of him singing Mama, I'm Coming Home, and it just looked like he so wanted to get out of that chair.
Yeah.
Because he's so used to running up and down that stage when he's going.
There was not a dry eye in that audience, and even me, I was about crying too. That was a rough song to get through, man.
Yeah. I heard that. I didn't see it, but I heard that a lot of the other bands that played got booed for some reason.
Mainly Dave Draymond got booed because of his.
Who the hell is that?
He's the lead singer of Disturbed.
Lead singer of Disturbed.
Oh, okay.
And
I don't know all their names, so.
Well, he's got a pretty. It's because of his stance on Palestine, and
he was wearing a Star of David, and
he's Jewish and he supports Israel, and he actually signed some bombs before they launched them on these.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I mean, he was signing signatures of bombs, and other bands have said that signing bombs isn't metal. That ain't cool, and killing little kids with your signature is not cool, and because these bombs are being dropped on kids, and so anyway, he came out and everyone booed his ass, and he said, "Oh, we're not going to do this, are we?" And then he just started singing.
I had heard that the rendition they did of the Black Sabbath song that they covered was also really poor.
I'd heard that one too. Yeah,
I didn't hear that.
He did Sweet Leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I got Ozzy singing one last time. If you guys want to hear it, play it for the audience.
Sure, you play a little bit of that.
Okay.
Zakk Wylde was amazing. Played in Pantera also. It's Darkness. It was all very emotional for me, to watch it somewhat, because I grew up with Ozzy.
Oh yeah.
He was one of the first metal cassettes I ever bought, probably. This is his solo set.
Yep.
Awesome to hear the audience sing along with them.
Oh yeah, every word. They stayed to the very end. All of them.
I heard they had over 200,000 people there.
Well, this is their farewell tour, isn't it? So I mean, you're going to want to see it.
Well,
That's the
it was their
concert. It's
farewell
not even a tour.
show.
Yeah.
It's the concert.
That's it. It's a one
That's it.
shot.
It's a one and done.
Ozzy hasn't
Well,
played
Ozzy
on the
too.
stage in 8 years. Yeah, he hasn't played a concert period in 8 years. And Bill Ward, the drummer from Black Sabbath, who they invited to do the show, hasn't played with the band for 2 decades.
I heard he killed it too.
He did.
Yeah.
He got up there the second 2 songs and tore his shirt off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was amazing. They there was a lot of other good moments too, like Steven Tyler from Aerosmith sung a Led Zeppelin song. He sung "Whole Lot of Love," and he just murdered it. He killed it. It was amazing. There was also a guy named Youngblood who sung "Changes." That was really good. "Changes" by Ozzy. That was a good version.
Marilyn Manson at least did a
Good
message. I know.
And everyone got all mad about it and was like, "Fuck Marilyn Manson," because he's in all kinds of trouble for rape and
I saw that one. Yeah, he's
being sued by all kinds of girls for sexual assault. So people were kind of mad that they even allowed him to put that message up, let alone they didn't invite him to the show. But yeah, if you read any comments underneath that, it just says "fuck Marilyn Manson." You know, people are off of him, man. But I don't know what's going to happen to him.
So you bring me a good snack?
It says a sexual assault investigation against Marilyn Manson's been dropped, and this is the weird thing. What's the weird
People
thing?
say he's just a pervert and a freak, and
He's always kind
I
of
don't
been
know.
like out there. He's had some good songs, but
I know, but he's
always-
got like 5, 6 girls now coming out
I mean,
saying. So.
what else should we expect from the guy who wanted to remove his own ribs so he could suck his own D?
Sorry, I don't know if that's true. That many girls or not. That's
No,
totally not true about him. Also, Adam, I don't think.
no Diddy.
I think that was a big urban rumor. You should research that. I'm pretty sure that's not true.
I'm gonna look that up. Marilyn Manson.
I think it's
I don't
that
even
he
think you
wanted
can do
to.
that.
It's not that he did.
Maybe he wanted to. Yeah, I don't think he ever really did it.
Oh,
Or maybe it was,
I
but it was
hope
a
he
huge myth.
I
But
hope he didn't.
The claim that Marilyn Manson had 2 ribs removed is a persistent rumor, but it is not true. There is no evidence to support this claim, and Manson himself has denied it. The
Dun, dun,
rumor,
dun.
which also included the assertion that the rib removal was to facilitate autofellatio, is considered an urban legend. The rumor gained traction in the pop culture, even reaching the point of being discussed on the Rosie O'Donnell show. Oh, great show to discuss something like
I
that.
remember that when he first came out, people were saying that about him.
While rib removal surgery is a real procedure for medical reasons, there's no indication that Manson's had it done. Manson has even released his medical charts to prove that none of his ribs have been removed at any point in his life.
Another great moment yesterday was Tool. They slammed out 4 songs that were incredible. And it wasn't supposed to be filmed, but somehow the whole entire 45-minute or 4-song set is on YouTube.
What are you talking about? Every Tool song lasts 45 minutes. That's why they're so good.
I know, yeah. They were so good. They were really good.
Yeah.
I kept hearing that the Metallica was the thing to watch.
They said Metallica
Okay.
killed it. Yeah, I didn't watch their set yet. Lamb of God was really good. Whoo, they were fire. So was Mastodon.
Ooh, Mastodon.
Yeah, they did a set too, and I think they brought out 3 drummers. There was also a drum off that was really cool between Danny Carey, the greatest drummer on the planet from Tool, and then next to him was Travis Barker, and then next to him was Chad Smith from Red Hot Chili Peppers, and they had this. I forget what song they played. It was a Black Sabbath song, but they each did solos, and one at a time during the song, and it was amazing. But I think Chad Smith won. So you guys check it out. Tell me who you think won. I think Chad Smith won.
That would have been really awesome to watch.
Yeah. It was. I mean, go watch the video of it. It's super cool. It's a drum off. They had some super groups too that they put together that were pretty cool. Different people from the Ozzy family kind of sort of were in there. So that was cool. It was cool seeing Rudy Sarzo play a lot of bass, if you know who that is, from Ozzy and Quiet Riot, a legendary bass player. He was in a lot of songs. Also, Tom Morello put together all of it, the whole thing from Rage Against the Machine, because he doesn't have anything going on right now, probably with his band, right? So he was the musical director, and he put together all that entire show, which was
the
super
only thing
cool.
Tom Morello does now is on Sirius XM.
Yeah, he's got time now, so he's a band director. Jason Momoa did a really cool thing too during Pantera. If you watch, man, right after he introduces him, he's a fan, and he's just having fun, and he's like, "I'm going down in the pit, man. So make some room down there." Yeah, and he puts his drink down, and he goes and jumps in the Pantera pit.
He jumped over the fence and
right
into the pit, right front row of the pit.
And he's like this much taller than everyone in the pit too, and you can see his head, and he's like, yeah. There's videos of him just rocking out with Pantera. That's pretty amazing, man. So, yesterday was a legendary show. I'm talking about it a lot because it was the end of an era, and it was, and Black Sabbath really did. They started heavy metal for the most part, and there's nothing you can play on a guitar that's heavy that isn't a riff that Tony Iommi didn't invent. I mean, there's like 5 bands they say that have taken all the riffs. They've taken them already, right? And it's Metallica, it's those guys, and who else? Black Sabbath and Metallica and the Beatles. I'm sorry, the Beatles.
And up there too.
Well, there literally is. There's 5 bands, and they invented every chord there is almost. So anything you make up, you're gonna pull a little piece of them, But anyway,
I got the drum.
It was a historic
competition pulled up. If you guys want to watch it real quick,
oh yeah, okay, wow, super cool. Let's do it. Why not?
See if we can figure out who wins.
Yeah, let's vote. Let's vote. See what you guys think.
All right, let me make sure it's on.
Because they booed Tobias. He was so good. I thought he was great. Sung it. Bad Out of Hell. They booed his ass. Not booed him, but they were real quiet. There's Chad. Yeah. Try to find when he went on stage. Look at Jason. Here we go. There's Chad. There's Travis. He's definitely one of the greatest of all time. Now here's the solos, I think.
And that's all I got.
Okay, huh? That wasn't a very good selection of them. That wasn't the actual solos. That was cool. It showed all 3 of them, but it definitely didn't show all 3 solos.
Yeah.
I did just find the full video. I think it's about 3 minutes and 14 seconds. So, hi, Carl.
What's up, Carl?
Pull that one up so we can see.
Carl Jones in the house. How's the podcast going, Carl?
Drum off, yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go. It's Travis.
There we go.
And here goes the next guy. Here goes Danny Carey from Tool in the middle. Oh, no, it's Chad. Yeah. He kills it. Even Travis is like, damn, he killed me. Here comes Danny Carey. He's last, I think. There, he's the good doctor, though. His drum set is precisionally made with mathematically. It was.
Oh,
He
okay,
got
boy.
It was all right. Yeah, he got a little
Yeah.
too technical there, I think. And
He also seemed like he held himself back too.
maybe, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
He could have done a lot better. I mean, with that drum set, yeah, he could have
Uh-huh.
really went to town.
Yeah, he's literally, look at that drum set right there.
Yeah,
See,
look.
Jeez.
that's the greatest drum set on the planet. Like, he spent his whole life designing it and perfectly precision placing everything, and he did it with math, and yeah, it's wild. Travis is great too, though. Oh, he's getting another one in there. Blink 182 drummer. Played with the members of Rancid later. Amazing drummer.
Oh, it was good. That was good. I gotta go with Chad. I think Chad nailed it.
Yeah, Ghost came out and he tried to get the crowd going, and I think I found out why too, and I'm gonna explain this to Casey. He came out and he was like, "Oh, what's going on, everybody?" And that crowd was like crickets, and he was like, "And are we ready to burn it up? Will Birmingham?" And they were crickets, and he was like, "Are we ready to rock?" Crickets, and then finally he was just like, "Oh, hit it, Vernon." The guitar player, he was like, "Hit it, Vernon." He just kind of gave up. I mean, I don't know if you let me know if you guys. So I found out though, he played a show there at the same stadium about a month ago, and the problem is he told everyone there there was a bunch of political crap in the concert. I'm trying to talk about all the good things too, mostly, but he caused a big mess because Ghost didn't allow phones at a show, and they made everyone lock their phones up in like these stupid cabinets or something, and it was so horrible that it caused traffic like blockages and lines, huge lines, twice as many as normal, and it just messed the whole town up. And I think that it pissed the whole town off, man, because
Wait.
the way that they responded to him, something was wrong. So I Googled it, and I found out that that happened. I Googled literally, why does Birmingham, England, or what is their problem with Ghost? And that's what it told me. It was like, oh yeah, it was this. So anyway,
So he had to lock up their phones.
it caused a
Obviously,
big, huge like clusterfuck.
And I think the reason he probably had them lock up their phones is because he's like, "Hey, don't."
They don't want nobody filming. They wanted them
no,
to have a
yeah.
no phone
You know,
experience.
I'm sorry, but that, like the videos we just played, that to me is free advertisement. I would have loved to have gone to this concert. This sounds like I would have been in fucking heaven and all that shit.
Yeah. It would have been a lot of fun.
And obviously, I don't think Black Sabbath's ever going to come to the Illinois area again, from the sounds of it. But I would have went, and it's like, you're that paranoid about somebody pirating your music that you want to lock it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ghost is already one of those bands. Either you really love them or you hate them.
Well, when it comes to, I think, the quality of the bands there and the bands that deserve to be there or not, they were at the very bottom of the list.
Yeah.
I would agree.
When it comes
Yeah.
to respect and all that, they're almost a parody of a metal band in a lot of ways. They're not a real satanic band. They kind of kid about the whole 80s, satanic rock metal thing. That's their whole shtick, really. If you really want to, know the truth about Ghost, that guy doesn't worship the devil. He's not even satanic at all. If you look at and talk to him in interviews, I mean, not talk to him, but see interviews, like he doesn't believe any of the shit that he's like doing. It's all just a shtick. It's funny, all these bands are coming out now, like Slayer and even Black Sabbath, and saying that they were never satanic. Neither of them were. Like even Slayer, I heard Tom Araya he recently say that we weren't really satanic, man. He said, back then there was bands like Poison and stuff around, and in Hollywood, and they all were dressed up in glam, and we just wanted to separate ourselves from them and just be scary. So we just went with this theme. But he was like, no one in the band like worships Satan. He's like, I'm a Catholic. It's just funny. Like, and even Black Sabbath today, they say that it didn't have anything to do with Satan, and they accidentally put an upside down album on their first album, an upside down cross. That it was the record company that did it, and they didn't like it. They were mad about it. In fact,
I heard about that. Yeah,
because they were like, we have to go home and Geezer Butler said, I have to go home and tell my mom and show her this, and she was really mad about it. And they didn't really even mean to be satanic. That was the thing thrown on by the record company. They meant to be scary. They watched old Boris Karloff movies, and they watched old Dracula movies, and they wanted to be a scary rock band. That was their idea, not satanic necessarily. They were like, that big black shape with eyes before me, NIB. That's like a horror movie. It's not really supposed to be like Satan. It just kind of turned out that way,
I'll tell you, I'm looking at the lineup here for everybody who was wondering who was all there the other night. Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Steven Tyler, Slayer, Tool, Pantera, Gojira, Alice in Chains, Billy Corrigan. The only one I'm missing, which would have made this performance so epic, Lemmy Kilmister and Motorhead.
Yeah,
but we lost Lemmy in 2015, 10 years ago. Yeah, I mean, if he was still around, I would have paid.
Slipknot could have been there. Megadeth could have been there.
Slipknot, Megadeth, yeah.
There's only about 4 of those bands I would have liked to have saw.
Drax was amazing. They did a really good set. Cry for the Indians, Die for the Indians, whatever it is. Cry for the Indians. Bubba said there's only 4 bands there he wanted to see. You just
and what Tyler just titled off.
All right, cut his mic, Tyler.
I would have loved to see all of them.
Yeah.
Cut Bubba's mic for like 5 minutes.
You're in timeout, Bubba. You're in timeout.
How dare
You're
you?
You're in bad taste in music timeout
I'm
land.
actually curious. What bands would Bubba want to see? What bands would he see?
The Bangles, or like
Oh God, it's the Bengals.
Go-Go's.
No, like classic rock, like good shit.
That was
Okay,
classic rock. What do you?
Well,
that was all of
Black
classic
Sabbath.
rock.
Black Sabbath is classic rock. But
Okay, so
Yeah.
Black Sabbath you want to
So
see.
classic rock for you, not classic rock in today's era, which is what we grew up with
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the 90s.
they were more metal.
Cla-
They were
classic-
kind of like heavy metal. Really, they
classic
invented
rock
heavy metal.
Classic rock was basically 60s, 70s, and some 80s, but mainly 60s and 70s.
Bubba, classic rock's 90s now, dude. Sorry.
I'm asking,
Yeah.
what are you talking
We
about?
didn't know, buddy.
No,
I was listening to YMG. They played fucking Boulevard of Broken Dreams from Green Day. I've
Yeah.
never had a midlife crisis.
That's
in my life.
classic. That's classic, Bubba. Sorry. Cut him off.
Yeah, that is classic.
oh,
You gotta,
I know it seems wrong, but
you gotta look at it. What was it? Bullet for, or what was it? What was that album? Was it American Idiot? With
Yeah.
Green Day. That's 20 years old. That is considered
Yeah.
classic rock now.
Green Day's a bunch of America haters. I don't know. I used to like them, but
They did go too.
now they're just like
political.
commies, man. That's all they do is sing about hating fucking America. I am an American idiot, and all they're just. I don't know. I'm tired of that.
They
We got
they
it.
went
You
too
guys hate
political.
America. Why don't you move somewhere else? Fucking Billy Joe. Anyway, the
Okay,
other day
so-
he was getting the whole crowd to yell, "Fuck you, Donald Trump! Fuck you, Donald Trump!" Which that's cool, but that's not why I go to concerts.
Who was the band? Who was the singer who said if you're a Trump supporter, I don't care who you are, you're banned from my show.
Oh,
Who was that?
yeah.
Because
It
that's
was
like-
just recently. It was
Yeah.
just recently. Who the fuck said that? Like,
Like, I
Damn.
don't give two shits about politics. They both suck.
There's
I
another.
wouldn't ban people for their decision.
There's a festival going on right now. There's some like music censorship happening. Like, there's a band called Bob Villain, and I've listened to them. Actually, they're like, I really like them, man. They're like punk rock rap. They're like nothing you've ever heard before. They're like this fast reggae rock punk rap that's really aggressive, and like it's really good. I liked it a lot anyway. And so, but they've been banned from this tour called the Radar Tour because of their views on, I think, Palestinian, and they're chanting things. And they're chanting things to the audience, right? Like death to ICE or something. And I don't know what they're doing, but exactly wrong. But they're banned from this Radar Tour. And then that made a whole bunch of other concert venues and festivals ban them. So they got banned from like 3 big festivals. Then they took away this band's visa from America and said they can't even come to America because they're being investigated. And so this band, Bob Villain, now like can't even tour. They can't make money. So other bands now are joining in what do you not consolidation? What do you call that? In
protest.
Consolidation.
yeah. Well, they're joining them in protest.
In
by-
protest, basically.
They're leaving this festival. 2 other bands left the Radar Festival already, saying this isn't right. These people are this is entertainment, and they're being censored and they're being persecuted. And we basically are pulling out. So 2 other bands so far pulled out of the Radar Festival.
Hero in Error, Bob Villain. Let's see.
One of the
And
bands was
Scratch.
all girls. The what?
The Scratch. That's the all girl one.
They're the ones who they put out messages on their own individual Facebooks saying that they don't it wasn't right what's happening to this band, and if it starts with them then they'll do it to anybody basically.
Well, my argument is this. I don't look. We're all going to have different political views. I mean, for God's sakes, me and Bubba, we go back and forth at the Cubs Cardinals, but we still do a show together. I wouldn't bash him if he decided to say I voted for this person, or everybody has their own views on it. I mean, you don't have to agree with what's going on. You don't have to agree with what's going on in the Middle East. You don't have to agree with who's in the White House. But you also, that doesn't give you the right to sit there and say, well, it's Adam's fault because he voted for, I'm just going to throw this out there. I don't know who he voted for. I don't care. It's Adam's fault because he voted for Donald Trump. No, it's not Adam's fault, just as much as it is.
It's my fault. It's always my fault.
Yeah,
I'm used to that. It's my fault.
if you're going to the whole political shit, it's like you're skipping life and you're being a prick about it, and the person you're being a prick to has no control over what Donald Trump does. Why am I trying to have a serious talk and Rob brings that up?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Let the Bob Villain play at the thing.
Yeah, you don't have to go to his concerts, right?
No,
I mean, that's like Green Day. I'm not going to go see Green Day. If you want to go see him, fine.
I mean, if you made me choose between, like, say, AC/DC or Green, I'll do this better because they're kind of the same time. If you made me choose between old school classic, if they somehow resurrected him from the dead,
Yeah.
Linkin Park and Green Day, hey, more power to you, Green Day. I'm going to Linkin Park.
right. So it's weird, Skeletor says fuck the politics, but it gets boring, and we're going to move on from politics too. But one last thing about it is, there's a lot of bands like Bob Dylan, and the real Bob Dylan, right? He was a political writer and he was an activist,
Yeah.
protest songs, and So music's politics have just been around in music, and it's just kind of part of it. But you can't choose who you want to go see or not, right? And so Tyler, like you said, that's your solution. Play.
Right. It's like if you see a movie come out and the movie looks like shit, then don't go see the movie. If a band is coming out and the band has, this kind of political background, that doesn't make any difference. If you suck at singing, I'm not going to go see you
listen
play.
to something else. Damn it. That's right.
Exactly.
Okay.
I tell you, you know who I've been listening to that I really like? It's actually a newer band.
No way.
No way.
From the last decade?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Dirty Heads.
Okay. They're pretty cool.
You guys ever listen to them?
I have never heard of them.
Never heard of them.
They're kind of different. They're
Sounds
a lot
dirty.
of their stuff is really reggae type sounding.
Bubble approved.
And I love it.
Approved.
But though they also have like an album or two that's like really more rap type sounding. I don't care for a lot of that, but their reggae sounding stuff is really good.
Cool. So everybody go check them out.
The Dirty Heads.
The Dirty Heads. Okay, so let's get to the big announcement. And then a couple things after that. The big announcement is dun dun dun. The big announcement is I'm going to be leaving the show for probably just a few months as a full-time member. And I'm going to more or less just take a leave of absence. And, I just wanted to explain to our Weird Frequencies family, it's become really that, as your host here, this is kind of bittersweet for me, but I'm handing the mic over to my pal Tyler here for a bit. But don't worry, I'll be back in about 2 months, ready to dive into more strange tales. And until then, you're in great hands with Tyler. He's actually, been hosting the show anyway.
Tyler's
half
kind
the
of
time. Yeah,
okay.
and he's pretty amazing at it, and he's all right, and he's a great producer. And you guys are going to be in good hands.
If he could just quit getting written up.
Yeah. But I just I have a couple things going on in my life right now that I got to take care of, and unfortunately, it's just going to happen on weekends. It's the only time I can get these things done, and but I'm still going to pop on the show and throw in my little 2 cents anytime something weird goes on. We're not going to shut down the show, Connie, for sure.
No,
and that's the thing. We love you guys. We love our fans. We've really come to realize that there's a lot of great fans out there of this show. Whether or not they're even watching now, they watch on our replays, and we get like 4,000 views a week, between probably more now, honestly, with now that we've added in Rumble. Shout out to our Rumble fans out there too.
I still got to figure out I'm about to look up how you did that, because I want to get my show on Rumble too.
Well, you just go to rumble.com and sign up, and you just add it to the thing up there.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. It's not too hard. If you guys haven't been to Rumble, go there, because it's like free speech YouTube is what it is. So there's some wild stuff on there. So get ready, but if you like shows like this, they're on there, and there's conspiracy shows, there's all kinds of wild, unfiltered stuff on there. So you want the other side of the news going on, go check it out over there. So people are like, Russell Smith, he does like only 15 minutes on YouTube, and then he says, you want to see the rest of the show, you got to go to Rumble. Bye.
Yep.
Shows are doing that now. Like, you want the unfiltered part of the show, got to go to Rumble to see that part of it. So that'd be interesting if we did something like that, exclusive Rumble content or something. Rumble, if you'd like to sponsor us to do that, we'd love to do some exclusive Rumble content for you. Anyway, but yeah, so we realized that the show is it started, with myself and a gentleman named John Winterbauer about 6 or 7 years ago on the Disaster Radio Network with Ray Lytle as the owner of that, and then I hosted the show. John left the show, and he created the name. Also, he's an author now, a best-selling author. His name's John Winterbauer. Go check his books out. And he created
Great guy
the show.
too.
Awesome guy, yeah. And he writes horror books. And he lives around here. I'm not gonna tell you where he lives, so you don't go stalk him or something.
Oh, damn. Oh, for that.
But anyway, we're gonna try to get him on the show sometime too. But again, now that he's all famous. But anyway, then I hosted the show with Ray Lytle for a while, for a year and a half or so. Then Tyler came on board. Then me and Tyler did it. So it's evolved with hosts. And, that's why it doesn't say behind me Weird Frequencies with Rob Henson, because now it's Weird Frequencies with Tyler, the American T-Rex, for the next couple of months, and Adam and Bubba, of course. But we're definitely I realize, me and Tyler realize that this show is bigger than just one person. So I'm going to leave for a little bit as a permanent member, but I'm going to be back for sure. And this is one of my loves in life. So don't worry. Keep raising your frequencies out there and keep sharing your stories in the chat and stay curious out there.
He'll leave for a short while and then he'll disappear again for GTA 6.
Yeah.
It seems funny that's how it lines up, doesn't it?
It's not because of GTA 6. It hasn't happened yet. So
not directly. It's not directly because of GTA 6.
No, it's some business things I got going on. It's some personal stuff.
No, until Rob comes back full time, we'll try to maintain the same quality of show.
Yeah,
listeners have grown accustomed to over the years.
And they will. And I know the show's in good hands. So
nothing is going to change either. We're not going to. Well, I do have one rule. We're going to remove all the Cubs fans.
Oh, boom!
Sorry, you know how to make it go. No.
Tyler does his first executive act.
First executive order. Nothing's going to change.
His first executive order.
Honestly, you are choosing. It's like I said over the phone earlier. You are choosing like the best time to step away, because the news cycle right now, there's not much in what we normally cover. There's not much with UFOs, Bigfoot, aliens, new science, stuff like that.
Kinda.
It's a rush.
You dig though. I mean, I never seem to fail to find something crazy going on.
Yeah, and obviously, I'm sure if something big happens, like let's say they actually find Bigfoot, you're gonna see Rob pop on for sure. And
yeah. I'll be here going, "You're right, Bubba. I'm sorry."
We're all gonna be eating crow live on the show.
We proved it this last week.
Oh,
Bigfoot rode in and wrote to me.
I'm pretty sure it was something being sarcastic on the show, trying to be a smart ass to you. Not legitimate Bigfoot.
It was Bigfoot. And the fact that Bigfoot did that proves that Bigfoot is intelligent. Intelligent enough to write an email.
Well, it's funny that you bring up Bigfoot because my last segment is going to be we're going to talk about the top 10 controversies that we've talked about on the show this past season, kind of.
Okay.
And it's going to be a recap, basically. And we're gonna basically give a how should I put this? They're going to be final answers on whether each one is true or not right now, according to technology that we know on this date of this show on July 6, 2025, whether or not these next 10 subjects are just true or not. I'm just going to give you my take on it. And I've used computers and I've used AI and I've used all of my findings and all of our research from the show, and there you go. So we're going to start with Bigfoot.
Thank.
Number one, the final answer.
I'm gonna quit this show.
This is going to be called the final answer. That's what this is going to be called.
I swear to God, if AI sits there and says, "Well, I'm quitting the show," Adam, you have
The
it.
final answer with AI, me, and I think most of the show is that's just not true. There's no verifiable physical evidence, such as a body or DNA, has been found at all, despite decades of claims. Eyewitnesses' accounts, photos, and footprints lack scientific rigor, and they're just debunked as hoaxes or misidentifications. What do you think, everybody in the chat room? Is Bigfoot real? We've had a blast diving into sightings like that dancing Bigfoot in Michigan. Remember that one?
Oh, shit. I quit.
I believe that there's not enough evidence either way.
There's just no solid proof. No bones, no
There's
DNA.
no positive evidence, but there's no evidence against.
There's just blurry pics and tall
We're
tales.
just in the middle.
How can you say that Bigfoot taking a shit wasn't real? How's that not evidence?
Are we serious? Are you seriously bringing that up as your life? It is literally. It has a link in the video where you can buy the fucking costume they use. Oh my God!
It's a fun legend, Big Bubba, but it's more likely Bigfoot's a bear in a bad wig than a hidden.
No. In all honesty,
You're not being honest. Stop.
No. This is me being honest.
Final word on this. Go ahead.
I personally, I believe they're real. I just think that there's way too many sightings. Now, I know a lot of those are hoaxes. I know there's a lot that are, just misidentification. But I believe that some of those are real. Just like the footprints that are found. I do not believe all those footprints are hoaxes. Not in some of them places where, man never goes. And just luckily some guy walks through there and finds one.
Mm-hmm.
It may take a lot of time to do that for something that may never be found ever by someone. So why do it, I just think I think it's out there. I think it's real. And I think it's...
All right.
There
you go. That's Bubba's opinion. There you go. Where all of the stuff I'm going to talk about is really just based on where the science is at right now on these things, and with the science right now on Bigfoot is no. So there you go. That's number two. The next thing, aliens and UFOs. We talk about them a lot on the show. The universe is vast.
Connie actually brings up a very good point.
What's Connie say?
We can't really believe aliens either. No real proof and a bunch of blurry photos of fake bodies. So why not Bigfoot?
Thank you, Connie.
I feel like with the whole Bigfoot discussion, with the aliens and all that stuff, the government's come forward and said, yeah, we're aware of unidentified vehicles, whether those are terrestrial or extraterrestrial. That's one thing. So if the government's willing to sit there and say, yeah, there's something flying around compared to saying there's something walking around in the forests, I mean, that's kind of like she's correct. So, a small
she's absolutely correct, and that's the answer is no aliens. That's the answer to UFOs right now. Scientifically, it's unproven.
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's unproven, and the universe. There's no credible evidence to support alien visitations to Earth. UFO sightings have often been mundane explanations, optics, drones, or classified tech. Claims like star maps from skinwalkers lack any kind of substantiation. There's been, we've had everything from the New Orleans phantom calls to skinwalkers. We've been chasing little green men across the globe, but the final verdict, the universe might host life, but no hard proof says aliens are buzzing Earth. And these UFOs, they're probably drones or secret jets. So keep scanning the skies and let us know if you spot a UFO. And I'm saying this too because I've seen, I've seen a fleet of triangle-shaped UFOs flying around in the sky with little orange lights on the corner. So, and still, I think those could have even been, just government tech, some kind. So far,
we have to remember UFO is not necessarily synonymous with alien. It just means we don't know what the flying craft is. So,
yeah, there's these drones all over the place, and there's just so much crazy footage, but there's really no proof. And that's what we're talking about right now. It's just good proof. And really, right now, there just is no credible evidence to support aliens or UFOs. That's the government, they put out those videos, but they don't prove anything, except that there's things flying around up there that we don't know what they are, and we don't know if they're from here. We don't know if they're from space. We don't know if they're from another dimension. We don't know, and they don't know either. I don't think.
I don't think they do either.
All right, moving on. Number 3, Tyler. Ghosts, spirits. So this is going to be touchy, but I'm going to say not true. With what I'm, scientifically right now, no scientific evidence supports the existence of ghosts.
Yeah.
Personal experiences and paranormal claims like ghostly high fives are often explained by psychology. Psychology, environmental factors, cultural storytelling, with no verifiable data to confirm spirits. Ghosts just don't hold up under scrutiny. There's no evidence beyond stories and creaky floors. They just are minds playing tricks on us, everybody? Or Tyler, give us your creepiest ghost tale, and tell us, and what do you think, chat room?
Creepiest ghost tale. Let's see. There's a couple of them.
Give us some proof that and what do you think? Is it
really the only proof I'd really have would be video and audio. That's about it. But that could also be a number of things. It could be animals we're picking up from across the graveyard, or a draft in the building. That's the problem, is that you pretty much hit it on the head there. There's really no way to prove ghosts are real because the science doesn't exist. It's not like I can walk out there with a proton pack, grab one, and say, "Here you go. Here's your ghost."
Here's Slimer for you guys.
Yeah, here's Slimer for you. But it's literally one of those fields where it's like, it's not going to gain any traction unless you have a breakthrough in scientific research.
We don't know where we go when we die.
We don't know where we go when we die. We don't know where we go. We don't know what happens.
We have no idea. This could be it. This could be just nothing. You just cease to exist. Or
for all we know,
magical energy that keeps on going. Let's hope. That's my hope.
Yeah.
I want to be magical energy.
For all we know, what we conceive as ghosts could be, this is a theory that's been going around too. What you conceive as a ghost, if you live in a house and you see like books thrown, or you see somebody walking, that could be either a ripple in time and you're seeing something that happened in the previous time of this house's life, B, a glimpse into a parallel dimension and you're seeing that dimension's version of you throw a book.
That could be very well possible. Yeah.
They could also be extraterrestrial. There's 100 reasons, but there's really, the only way you're going to learn that ghosts are real, and you're probably going to learn more about Bigfoot and aliens than you do ghosts.
Yeah.
Is to keep studying the field.
Yeah. Now, I will say, being that I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I died for 12 minutes. When during that time, it was black.
Interesting.
That's what I saw, or
No
what
lights.
I remember seeing. There
No
wasn't
lights,
anything.
no life being
No
played
light,
back. None
no
of that.
nothing. Just black.
Interesting. Well, maybe
So,
you didn't really
What
go
does that mean?
far.
I don't know.
But you died on the. What do you mean? Your heart stopped beating for that long?
Yeah.
But
Oh,
okay, so you remember that, but that's the thing is, to most people when you're dead, that's it. That's it. You're gone.
I had to be told later what happened. I went in for a scan. I had to get contrast in, and apparently I died during the test. And I went from Springfield Clinic to St. John's.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
in that
came to at St. John's. I had no idea how I got there.
in that blackness,
12 minutes.
you were still something, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
existed.
Like
You were
it-
there.
Like you had a consciousness of the darkness.
Right.
Like,
You knew you were in a darkness, right?
Yeah.
So
But-
that's a
but
good thing.
according to the doctors, which apparently there were 12 of them called in during my code blue, I was dead
Dead.
I'll be damned.
for 12 minutes.
It's a long time.
Yeah. No wonder why my head's kind of messed up. You know, that whole lack of oxygen thing, I guess.
Yeah.
So
So
I thought that you had like 5 minutes. They had a 5 minutes window to resuscitate you, and then your body starts having going through the stages of decomposition, like your brain shuts down because it's like what 3 minutes. Your brain needs blood and oxygen every 3 minutes or something.
Yeah, something like that. But
Yeah.
I'm sure with compressions and life-saving
Yeah,
measures,
you're pumping. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. That it's interesting because
Yeah.
maybe it's something like you remember that you died, you were aware that you were dead, but maybe it was like, oh no, don't touch him. He's going back. He's in the
kind
holding
of that waiting room type.
Yeah,
And you see, it's hard for me to know one way or the other. That's just what I experienced. There are other people who have had near death or death experiences,
That I've
and,
seen a lot.
and they've seen something different.
maybe because you were you this during this procedure, during this test, were you like put to sleep or induced into
You were in the
some kind of
MRI, weren't you?
No, it was an MRI with contrast.
So he was in the tunnel.
Yeah.
and you don't remember how it happened, you just randomly just died.
I was told after the fact that I died during the scan. They called the code blue, and there were like 12 doctors that ran into the room. And yeah, I was immediately sent to St. John's, and I came to.
Some type of resuscitation
Yeah.
worked.
So
So you were like in the MRI scanner, you flatlined just randomly. Did you ever find out what caused it for you
No.
to just
And
randomly
he's
die?
had MRI since, and there's been
Yeah.
no issue.
yeah,
So wait, hold on, man. You just randomly died, no cause, like
Yep.
no.
Well, we've been
10,
together
11?
3,
so maybe like 11 years ago.
so prior to Gabe being born.
Yeah, this was before it was before my youngest son was born. It was shortly after my oldest son, who's 13, was born.
So it was about 12 years ago,
Yeah, 12 years ago.
because it was during your separation.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's
just
interesting.
they had to call his mom and give her that news.
Yeah.
So like 1 minute you're in the MRI and you're awake, you're wide awake. The next thing you know, it was like just boom, you're in the hospital.
Yeah.
And you don't remember anything between closing your eyes to where they said you were dead to the resuscitation.
No, because So I remember when I was getting into the tube, they put the headphones on me so I could listen to music because the machine is usually fairly loud. And they put me in, and then I come to, I'm insane. I'm somewhere. I don't know where I am, but it wasn't where I was.
Right.
And yeah, it was explained to me. I'm in St. John's. I'm in the trauma center. I was dead.
What
Wow.
the hell would cause that?
Because I always wondered, did he have a seizure in there, or something like that?
but
There's no indicators of
yeah,
it.
nothing was documented on my files that I had a seizure in the tube or anything like that. It was
Let's
just
see. This is what I got here. Because now I'm like, what caused it then? While it's very rare, it is possible to die in an MRI machine, but not from the magnetic field itself. Fatalities typically occur due to accidents involving ferromagnetic objects being pulled into the machine by the strong magnetic field. These objects, like oxygen tanks, can become projectiles, causing serious. Yeah, but I mean, you didn't have anything like that.
it's like I didn't even have my tongue pierced back then, so that wasn't even an issue. So
Some MRI procedures require the use of contrast agents. While generally safe, some individuals can have an allergic reaction, which in rare cases could be fatal. Huh.
But he's had them since, and there's
I've-
been no issues. Now I panic every time he has to have one because you don't
I'm
know
sure.
what caused this one.
Wow.
Weird.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. So fun
I mean-
fact about one of the weird frequencies co-hosts.
Yeah. So we
it's
could add
Adam.
we could add NDEs to the list here and say yes, they're real. Because Adam is proof. Near-death experience. All right.
I agree with Connie's comment. If you've ever lived in a haunted house, you'll know.
Yeah, and Skeletor says he's definitely seen some ghosts around New Orleans. That's interesting. Left over. From
Oh,
Katrina.
I know the one time I got to visit down in the bayou, it was there was definitely some feelings there that couldn't really be explained.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, Skelly, if you wanna email me whatever you're talking about, you still owe us the supposed picture of these sea monsters you see. But if you want to email me something, I can read it.
Yeah. Now,
As long as you get it in before the show ends.
I will say this: ever since that that near death or death experience, I've been really sensitive to energy.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, like going into some of these
metaphysical stores.
Yeah. There are times I have to leave. It's too much.
Huh.
It's not because I'm not interested or I'm bored or whatever. It's just it gets overwhelming
That's wild.
and it begins to
Go into
trigger
one of
like
those
singing
salt
or something.
Himalayan salt caves and see what happens to you.
Well, we actually went in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to one
Mystic
on
Enchantments.
the Mystic Enchantments on Stevenson
Yeah.
in Springfield.
Shout out. They are
That
really
place
awesome.
probably
store.
freak
Yeah.
you out if you go inside
But
there.
as I'm walking through, I feel fluctuations of different types of energy,
I bet.
and it's just
I need to
sometimes
stop
it gets
in that
overwhelming,
place.
and I just have to step out.
I need to stop in that place. Okay, so ghosts and spirits scientifically not true. Sorry. Moving on. Number 4. Something we talk about every once in a while is skinwalkers. These Navajo shapeshifters. They've got these supposedly these star maps in the desert. They're powerful folklore, but there's just no proof to back them up. So that's a no. They're not true. Just coyotes and campfire stories, folks. I'm sorry. And then let me hear your skinwalker theories, chat room, or anybody else. But there's no, empirical evidence. Sightings like the drawings, of the star maps are often anecdotal and tied to misidentified animals or just psychological phenomenon and isolated settings. But for the most part, no proof of skinwalkers. Bunch of crappy videos. That's not proof, especially not in today's day and age. Number 6. The moon landing hoax. We talked about this here.
Oh no.
And the landings, let's revisit this. It's
The hoax is false.
that's
The moon
right.
landing is real.
That's right. I
don't believe it.
I agree. We dug in, these claims that NASA faked it all, but here's the truth. We walked on the moon, right? We have moon rocks, Soviet data. Russians have data from it. And Buzz Aldrin's real words confirm it. There's no conspiracy here, just human awesomeness. The moon landings.
We have moon soil. It's called regolith. And
they can get that without man stepping on Earth.
It is completely different from
we have
soil here
extensive,
on Earth.
Yeah, we have extensive evidence, including the moon rocks and photos. Claims of fakes like Buzz Aldrin's misquoted interviews are really just edited and debunked. They've been debunked as like that they've been edited, even, and the things that he was even talking about, that you hear him say, like, they just construed everything that he said and turned it around to him saying, "No, it wasn't real" or something. But he punched a guy in the face who said it wasn't fake, who said it was fake one time. So, I mean, if that doesn't tell you something. But, the moon landing hoax is not true, people. It did not happen. We landed on the freaking moon. But, Bubba?
I'm gonna get a soundboard, so next time when Rob comes back and takes the show back over and starts talking about the moon landing being fake, I'm gonna hit that sound button to prove that it was.
I've shown videos and things, on this show of the people jumping around funny, and where we've looked at them and they've been like, they look like they fell over and then bounced right back up, and there's a bunch of hokey videos out there, but it's true. We went there, man. It's a thing, and we shouldn't take that away from these people. This was human awesomeness. We should give them the credit for that.
Yep.
All right, moving on. 4 more in our top 10 conspiracies that are real or not, according to science right now. Number 6 is cryptids. Mothman, chupacabras.
Flatwoods Monster.
You see that show, Mountain Monsters?
Mm-hmm.
I love that show.
So do I. Super cool.
Miss it.
Absolutely staged. Every bit of that show is staged.
Wow.
And the sightings that are on the show are animals. Misidentified animals.
It's definitely for entertainment than for fact, but goddamn, it's entertaining. That show was.
It is. I like it too.
Best. And there's also one called what's it, Alaska Monsters? It's the same,
something like that.
It's basically the exact same show, just in Alaska, and just different people. But the people almost act the same too. So like everything they do is the same.
No solid proof on those shows, though.
I will say this: when we discuss cryptids, looking them up, reading their descriptions, it's always a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. And I love this. The idea. I've always talked about chupacabras and it's the goat sucker, and there's sightings, and there's some kind of weird clips, but I think a lot of times it's just a mangy dog they find. It's just some poor animal. It's just, and its teeth are mangly, and it's about ready to die, and they're calling it a chupacabra, But, unfortunately, the final calls, there's no solid proof on Mothman or chupacabras or any of this stuff. And on those shows, the little blurry heat signatures are probably just raccoons and coyotes. I hate to tell you that.
Wolves, chupacabras, people sometimes take wolves with a disease that makes their fur blue as chupacabras.
Really, my son said wolves sometimes get a disease that turns their skin blue, also their fur, and makes them kind of look like chupacabras.
It's
Yeah,
not
especially if they get mange.
Yep.
Mange of some kind, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cyanide.
So, but science right now says that's a no go. There hasn't been no proof, no nothing. So, and that's what we're talking about. Okay, number 7.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun. The big conspiracy that there's historical figures still alive, like Hitler and
Elvis.
Tupac,
That's
right?
right. Don't you
Tupac,
bust Elvis for me.
Elvis is alive.
Now we've laughed about these people being alive or hiding out, but the final word on it, they're gone.
Now, come on. They're all in cryostasis somewhere.
There's
Just waiting on us to, bring them back. And
no,
Yeah, just like Walt Disney.
autopsies
Right, Elvis is-
and written history seal the deal. There's no secret bunkers. There's no beach hideouts. There have always been these conspiracy theories about Hitler and Tupac, but surviving, but they're just unsupported. There's literally autopsy records, historical data.
I just saw Tupac down at the gas station getting gas with Robin Williams. Of course,
And
he's still alive.
lack of credible sightings. There's no real credible sightings, despite rumors constantly about Tupac being alive. And even this guy who looks like him now, who's another rapper who's got gray hair. Have you seen that guy? And he sounds like him a lot and looks like him. It's weird.
Well, there's that preacher that looks like
Tupac.
Elvis.
Yeah. So anyway, right now, as far as we know, when it comes to doing some research and looking into these things, Hitler
Science
and Tupac, science says they're dead.
Think
Elvis.
about it this way: Hitler would be like close to 100. He'd be over 100, I believe, if he was alive right now.
They even say Epstein's still alive. That they just sent him off to some island somewhere, and that's where he's at. And
What, off to his own island?
yeah,
What the hell?
other island somewhere. And the rich that's how they protected him, was to just make him disappear.
It was really just a body double in the prison cell.
Yeah. But the reality is the guy probably really did hang himself, and he probably really is dead, and they probably have an autopsy. And
Tyler, what's wrong? Why?
Jeffrey, that man did not hang himself.
No.
I mean,
don't know.
that's a
What was
whole
it?
other
The-
thing.
The autopsy they released, this is now the third of it. This technically is the second administration, has said that the autopsy shows he hung himself. How? I don't know. We'll just go wait until we hear the official word. That's all I know. But he did not hang himself. So that Christmas ornament did not hang himself.
All right. Number 8. Moving on. We got 3 left. 3 of the big conspiracies. Are they true or not? We're breaking them down.
According to science.
According to science right now, yeah. Not even according to me necessarily.
No.
Right? I did throw in my opinion on all of them.
Science is ever evolving, ever changing.
But right now, according to
But
science,
in this moment, according
in this
to
moment, as of today, alien origins, right? Ancient aliens, the Book of Enoch,
Mm-hmm.
not being an Anunnaki.
describes angels, well, it's basically saying angels. I mean, it's saying aliens, not angels, sparked humanity, right? And the final answer right now, as far as we know, is it's a cool story, but science says no. Humans evolved from Earth's critters.
That
not
had to
Ramiti.
that had to hurt for you to say. Because ever since I've known you, you've been a staunch believer in the Anunnaki.
I have, yeah, and a lot of this, they're
Connie's right.
these origin theories are crazy, and
Connie is right. You can't exactly prove the Bible either.
right, and
Yeah.
so scientifically, right now, the Book of Enoch lacks any scientific support for human origins, right?
Yep.
Right.
Modern alien creation theories are all speculative. There's no evidence linking
Can't prove
them.
evolution any more than anything else.
There's no evidence linking them to biology or ancient texts or anything. So, just what we do know is that we probably evolved from, some kind of little critters, whether it was monkeys or whatever, maybe it was probably something smaller than that, or the ocean. We probably evolved out of the ocean from a mollusk or something, who knows? We don't know the answer to that. But so far, science says it's not aliens. So there you go. Okay, another thing that we talk about lately, that I talk about, is this AI-driven spiritual awakening that's happening out there everywhere.
Mhm.
I've been talking to you guys about it like the past month, and there's apps guiding folks to enlightenment is what it is. There's basically, AI programs out there guiding people to enlightenment. But here's the deal. AI is great for meditation, but there's no real proof that it's unlocking cosmic secrets.
Right.
Claims of, these apps leading to spiritual enlightenment are just speculative right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
It's hard to get that kind of enlightenment by something written by man.
Yep.
Yeah.
AI, I think it can enhance your own mindfulness. I guess that's a good way to put it, but it mirrors yourself and kind of, says, oh, that's neat. How about this? That's what AI kind of does.
Yeah.
But there's no evidence to suggest that it unlocks a higher consciousness or cosmic truths, beyond just psychological effects. So right now, the whole AI-driven spiritual awakening is final answer is just unproven and likely not true. So sorry to disappoint everybody. But it's cool to think about, and it's cool to better yourself, and it's cool to try to, all this stuff about raising your frequencies and spiritual awakening and meditation, and that's all good for you. So, there's nothing wrong with trying to unlock cosmic secrets,
As long as it makes you a better person.
Yeah, exactly. I think
Please.
that's what a lot of it is. But these claims that there's aliens out there waiting for us to enlighten ourselves and reach a certain level and all this, there's just no proof of any of this. It's just all people talking. So there you go. Final answer, not true. Okay. Now here's the big one. Number 10. This might offend some people, but it's our subject for tonight, and we're talking about, as far as science is concerned, not as far as I'm concerned, or Adam, or Bubba, or Tyler, but science right now. Number 10 is hell and hell's existence. We're going to wrap it up with the big one. The big one, hell itself. We debate its existence on the show. We talk about heaven and hell and whether it exists, and but science's take on it is there's no evidence for a fiery underworld.
Yeah.
That they're just stories to keep us in line. Science says it's all a myth. There's no brimstone. So it says there's no evidence. I mean, there's just no evidence to support hell as a physical or a metaphysical place. Cultural and religious narratives drive these beliefs, but they remain untestable and lack observable proof.
Yeah.
So that's all we're saying when it comes to hell.
When it comes to science.
And science it just cannot be proven, and there's no physical evidence, just like Bigfoot, just like aliens, just like what else have we said on this show tonight is probably not true. Bigfoot is probably not true. Aliens at this point, we don't know, and as far as we know, they're not true. Ghosts are not true. Skinwalkers are not true. Cryptids, moonwalks, chupacabras, Tupac's dead, Hitler's dead. The books of Enoch are probably fake. I mean, not true. We didn't come from alien origins. There's no proof. And this is the last big one, that I asked it to come up with. And it says, the final take. Science says it's a myth.
Yeah.
So
what the hell was I killing demons out of in Doom then?
It's fiction. It's a video game. It's written like Dante's Inferno. It's a fictional book.
I know, I'm being a smartass.
I know.
Now,
the one thing that was true on that list was the moon landing.
Yep.
Now, it doesn't mean people believe it.
That's questionable.
Where we stand
Isn't that
right
funny?
now, scientifically, that's where it is right now.
That's the only one that we have real solid proof. And we have proof that Tupac's dead. Then we do. Do you remember seeing those autopsy photos? I do. As soon as they took them, they were all over the internet. And back then, there wasn't no AI. It showed him laid out on that table. I mean, everybody saw that. That was gross. And you're like, God damn, that was real. I didn't even want to see that.
I think that's what's going to keep our show on its toes is all these AI photos and stuff coming up.
Yeah.
We're going to have to look for like extra fingers and toes and stuff on these people.
Well, it's become a world where video evidence is no longer any good. There's no such thing as video evidence.
Very much true.
All videos can be faked, and there's just no. You can't look at a video now and think it's real. Even that's what's crazy. AI's really messed up the internet, hasn't it? In that respect, you can't look at anything now and think, "Oh, well, that's real," because it's probably not
without some degree of doubt.
Yeah, what I hate is when I watch something and I go, wow, that's really cool, man. That's super cool. And then all of a sudden someone at the bottom's like, oh, it's AI, and you're like, what the heck? That wasn't even real what I just watched. I wanted it to be. So,
Bubba, we can't hear you.
Your mic died.
Dang it, poor Bubba. Cubs fan. But
Cubs did win.
We're not going to go into whether God exists or not. I think that's too much of a question to ask the AI. Yeah, and everybody's got their beliefs, and I don't want to piss anyone off. And if you believe in God, that's great. And if you don't believe in God, that's great too. You know what I hate the atheists that got to prove they're atheists. Like they got to when you're talking to them or whatever, they got to say something to show you they're atheists. Like, I didn't ask you. I don't care. Mind your own business.
That's as bad as the religious people who try to cram their religion down everyone's throat too.
Yeah. Don't cram your anti-God
bullshit
bad
at
me either. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, So yeah, you know what? Faith is a good thing. Let's end it with that. Faith in anything nowadays is a good thing. So yeah, you should never slam anyone's faith, whether it be in
Yeah.
God or whatever.
In my opinion, if what you believe makes you a better person, whether it's the AI meditation, whether it's any form of religion,
Mm-hmm.
anything,
Bigfoot.
if it makes you a better person,
Yeah, Buddha, Allah, whatever.
yeah,
I mean, if it makes you a better person, man, and that's
yeah,
what
'cause
you
Lord
wanna do.
knows our
Good for
world
you.
needs a better person.
Yep. So
Everybody.
faith's a good thing. Don't ever slam anybody's faith, man.
Yeah.
Yep. So okay.
Another thing too is I want to add something.
Yes.
We're bringing doubt into a lot of things we usually talk about on the show. We're saying they're real, they're not real as of right now, but one of the reasons that we do this show and the reason people still look for them is because they're trying to prove or find explanations. It's about finding.
That's right.
So
And
we're
that
not-
can happen at any time.
Yeah, so we're not
that's
saying
true.
like
It's those explanations that can change science.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like Adam said at the beginning of this: science is always being rewritten. I mean, nobody had on their 2025 bingo card we would have an ice age animal de-extinct.
Maybe
over
we
the-
should revisit this show in a year and do the same thing and see where the science is at on all these subject matters and see how it's changed and just see where it's at. Because yeah, you're right, Tyler. We're saying on here, according to science, ghosts are not true. Right. That doesn't mean that there's not
That they're
something
not.
out there, and it's not something else. And we're
Precise.
definitely not knocking all these things as fun subjects and things to not look into and investigate, because they're definitely big. We want to make sure there's no damn Bigfoots out there roaming around in the woods. We're going to investigate
I'll
that.
say this.
Crazy shit.
We all have to remember science at one point in time said Pluto was a planet. And
Yeah.
then later, it was proven that it was a minor planetoid
Then
and
they,
it's no longer a planet.
they took away his damn planetary status. Didn't they
Yep.
give it back to
So
him or something?
it's
Didn't they give it back?
It's evolving depending upon the information we have and the
Yeah.
information we find.
Yep.
So
Yep. So
It's not-
yeah.
it's not carved in stone. It's not unchangeable.
Yeah. We're not
you know.
saying Tupac. Who knows? He could be alive somewhere. There could be a chupacabra in your backyard. Maybe a little elf or one of them little things called duendes. Yeah, watch out for them duendes. Yeah. Look up duendes. If you see some videos of them, they're scary little boogers. And probably not real and not proven. So that's the thing. But yeah, and even hell, don't think you might not still have a chance of burning in hell forever, because we do not know that one way or the other.
Speak for yourself. I'm taking a double barrel shotgun and a chainsaw. I've trained my whole life for that.
So but that's all we meant.
Or something.
That's all I meant with all of this stuff tonight. Tyler's right. It's all just where the science is right now. It's not the final word. It's just taking a look back at what we've talked about the past year and kind of analyzing it a little, and
I kind of like
seeing where it's at.
to stimulate the conversations.
Yeah.
Of these weird oddities and stuff, just to see what we can make of them and what we think. And maybe we encourage further discussion in other areas. Maybe something gets found eventually. Who knows?
Right.
But
Well,
we're not
Connie's
ones
getting
to
deep
say
on
that
us
things
there.
don't exist. So
She said the AI photos are rampant now. Yep, it's sad. It's no more video proof. It's all fake. Yeah, and that's what tonight's show was kind of about too. There is tons of videos of Bigfoot. There's tons of videos of UFOs and ghosts, but there's no science.
Right.
There's no science behind any of it. So that's the big problem. And it's where we're at right now. There you go.
yep.
So don't forget, Tyler is the new host of the show. If you're tuning in late, Weird Frequencies family, I just want to let you know I'm handing the mic over to my pal Tyler for a bit, but don't worry, I'll be back in about 2 months, and we'll dive into the strange tales when I get back. And Tyler and Adam and Bubba and crew and Julie are going to keep the Weird Frequencies going just like normal. And I'll be back every once in a while to pop on the show if anything wacky happens or anything like that. But I just got to cut some
checks, make sure
personal
we're
things.
still running the show okay.
Oh yeah, I'll come in and like write you guys up every once in a while or something. But no, but Tyler's taking to the helm. He really is, and he's you're in good hands. So
Nothing's gonna change, guys. Nothing's gonna change.
yeah, so tune in next Sunday night, 8:00. Keep raising your frequencies. Keep sharing your stories in the chat. We love that, man.
Yeah.
You guys are really the reason why we keep the show going. So
You want me to cue the outro music?
yes, stay curious, all of you we're amazing weirdos.
Keep rushing that monkey.
Rush that monkey.
Probe that alien, smoke some weed with the ghost, and tell Tupac he owes me $20.
Tupac's it.
Swim with Nessie.
Swim with
Tupac's
that. There you
dead.
go.
Sorry, Tupac's dead.
You will not take that one away from me. That's a hill.
Elvis is dead. The king has left the building.
He died on that golden throne too.
Yeah, he did. What a place to go.
Peanut butter and banana sandwich.
Peanut butter banana.
Oh, my heart, baby.
And bacon. Gotta add bacon to that.
You ever seen Bubba Hotep?
Yeah, I have. That's
Yeah.
pretty
Oh,
good.
that's the greatest movie ever. Bubba Hotep. Elvis in a wheelchair fighting fighting an Egyptian mummy god or some
Bruce
kind.
Campbell, and then there was the one
Yeah.
guy thought he was JFK resurrected.
Great movie, man. Best movie ever. Go watch it.
Oh.
Bubba Hotep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, man. Have a good night. See you guys. Take care. Stay weird.
Have a good evening, everybody.